So a couple years ago, I was invited to the Air Force Academy in Las Vegas, Nellis, to perform for the Thunderbirds.
Wow.
So this was my first time performing for any military ever. And it was a big gig. I was paid very handsomely for the spot. They paid for my airfare. They put me up. They paid for all of my meals.
Wow.
They were really treating me, with a lot of respect, and I was very excited to be there.
And it's in Vegas.
In Vegas,
so you're excited.
yeah.
This is a trip.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So the night before, I thought, at this point, I had been in comedy for 4 years. And all of my material was based on Hollywood stuff.
Sure.
Like my acting stuff and, my, anything that had to do really with industry.
Sure.
And I thought, this isn't going to fly for military. This isn't going to fly for the Thunderbirds.
Right.
This is like Top Gun.
Right.
This is the best of the best, the upper echelon of the top specimens on the planet, right? And how are they? They're not going to relate or laugh at this material. So the night before, I wrote a whole new set.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure, but I thought I could do it.
There you go.
Right? And you know where this is going.
Oh yeah.
So I wrote a whole new set, and the following day, the Thunderbirds, they meet me, they give me a tour.
Wow. What's the facility like?
It's just stunning.
Wow.
Just absolutely. I mean, it's. I felt like I was on set of Top Gun.
Wow.
I mean, it's exactly the same.
Wow.
So
jets everywhere. And big
just photos with the Thunderbirds and the jets
nice.
and the photos with the military, and so then they escort me to the green room, and
nice.
I'm waiting to go on.
Other comics there?
Other comics are there
Okay.
now, and the comics that were there are quintessential road comics. They perform everywhere, where I'm a Hollywood comic at this point.
Right.
I don't have a lot of experience on the road.
So are you sweating bullets
So
at this point?
I was just kind of like, I was just kind of not secure with my tone of comedy with this group.
Sure.
And so, but I was excited about this new set. I thought it was going to slay, especially my opener.
Nice.
I was so excited.
How many people there?
For this opener? Hundreds.
Oh.
I was so excited for my opener. So I come out and I'm just high. I'm like, just revved up.
Yeah.
And my opener, and I look at everybody and I say, "Where are my gender fluids?"
Whoa.
And silence. Radio silence.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they did not think that was funny.
Damn.
I thought it was hilarious.
Right.
I still think it's funny.
Gender fluids.
Yeah, where are my gender fluids?
Right.
I wasn't being, maybe it could have been perceived as being disrespectful to the military, but I thought I thought it was current.
Right on time.
Yeah, and I just thought it was fun,
Right.
and I talk about gender fluid in my set, and it's something big that's going on, and I think it's great.
Right. So how did you dig yourself out of that?
I didn't. I never dug myself out. It was 15 minutes of pure hell.
All the real comics know.
Just pure hell. I have never bombed so bad. We have spots where we don't do as well as we could, but bombing, I really thought I was beyond
what
bombing.
What a place to bomb. Right.
This is like exactly. So
Wow.
so when I left, and I think I was supposed to do 30 minutes, I cut it at 15.
Wow.
And they gave me a check, and I deposited that check before I got to the car.
Right,
just
mobile
in
deposited
case.
that shit?
Exactly. I was like, so they can't change their mind.
Right.
So, yeah, I was never invited back.
Wow, that's hilarious. Oh, my gosh. Just for the story, that shit was worth it.
Oh, man.
What a place.
Where are my gender fluids?
Right.
To military. I guess no one... or they weren't ready to talk about it, maybe. But there had to be a couple. Come on.
Of course. But it's in a crowd that deep, you'd be surprised. Sometimes in those big audiences, there are those laughs and those pieces there. But, again, we get sometimes so out of tune, and you're in the flow.
And all I could hear was the air conditioning vent above.
You're like, all right, cool. Is there a light? I'm waiting on a light or something.
Oh man, yeah.
Hilarious.
So that was
interesting story.
probably the most memorable of all my sets. Nice. That's for sure.
So what would you say is your highest experience on stage where you felt like you killed it? The stage was the perfect stage. The night was the night. The audience was there and you smashed. What would you say your highest high was?
There's something magical about the original room at the Comedy Store.
It is.
What is it about that room?
It is. I've only been on that stage one time.
Okay, there's something.
I feel like I peed myself before I got there. I was like, oh my.
You've arrived, right? You've arrived.
Oh my gosh, what am I gonna do?
There's something magical about that room. But honestly, and I'm not just saying this to segue to promoting my special, but the night of my special was the highest moment maybe of my life.
Wow. The night before your special?
No, the day of, while I was performing it.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I'm sure that was dope.
So it just worked. I took a really big chance, and I only had one show. Wow. And put all my eggs in one basket.
Because usually they do 2 shows
usually
to cover.
You do 2 to be safe.
Right.
And I couldn't afford 2 shows.
Wow.
Yeah, the production.
Cheers to you
so
for
thank
punching
you.
it, putting yourself out there, knocking it out of the park.
You.
Because that's a big gamble as a comedian,
to
put yourself, because it's got to go. Especially when you have resources and production.
It's
got to
go. I could not afford for that to not go. Right. And sometimes, I don't know about you, but when you put that kind of pressure on yourself, you don't allow yourself to fail.
Right.
It just wasn't allowed.
Right.
And I loved the space. I did it at Second City, Hollywood.
Oh, okay. I think I've been there.
Nice, cozy vibe.
Yep.
Nice room, and it just worked. And I don't know, something about I have done that. All of that material was road tested because you don't really want to improv the night of your special. Sure. So it was road tested, but there was just something magical about the delivery that I had never done before. Right, exactly.
It flows. To me, that's probably the toughest part. Still, we're our biggest critics, obviously.
Yes,
but I never like being on stage.
I hope I'm my biggest critic.
Right. Well,
I might not be.
Well, yeah, right. These days with social media, you'll figure out who your biggest critics are. They will make themselves known.
Right, exactly.
Right. That's why I'm just like, 1 million followers sounds nice, but it's like it also sounds stressful.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, the trolling, exactly. But I didn't mean to interrupt. You were saying.
Oh yeah.
I interrupted.
Totally lost it. Your show,
the
momentum.
Yeah.
Yes,
the momentum.
I struggle with it. I struggle sometimes. I never want to be on stage and feel like lost. You know what I mean? Because there's such a flow that has to kind of go through each joke.
Flow is everything.
And you kind of have to know how to set it up and deliver. So there's such an art form to it that I'm still working on and studying so that you can, really, really have this solid flow, especially if you're doing a half hour, let alone an hour of time.
Yes.
So it takes stamina.
It does. Do you have an hour material?
I have not put it to test yet.
Okay, nor have I.
Have, but it's been years. I've got all new stuff, So when I was in New York is where I first started comedy.
Right.
So when I was there, I, did a bunch of shows. But usually in New York, you're doing 10 minutes, 15 minutes just to kind of do shows.
Right. And you're lucky to get that time in New York.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But because I was from the South, originally I had some contacts in Texas and Louisiana. So I'd go there and I would headline and I would do, more time, 45 minutes or, I think the longest show I did do was about an hour. And it was like in Waco, Texas or something. So
okay.
I had fun and it was just kind of flowing. But there's a big difference in being able to just make everybody laugh for an hour, but really having your solid material that you can go and do and conjure.
That's tested and
exactly,
exactly.
Right.
And if you could change a word here or deliver it on a downbeat instead of an upbeat or just those little the slightest of nuance that can completely change the joke.
Right.
That's the art of it for me. I'm addicted to that aspect of it.
Yeah, those are those subtle differences that make, and all the great comics, they have those nuances. They take that I so admire Chappelle and the way he just kind of takes his time and talks. Comfortable and in his place.
Right.
And, to play with the silence of the room, because I used to be afraid of the silence in the room. Coming from New York, because there's a lot more bar crowds, it's a lot more loud. Sometimes it's a little bit more rowdy, depending on the spaces you go.
Right.
So if it's silent, it's rough. So you have to kind of talk a little bit over the crowd, and I used to run away from that.
To get control of the room.
Exactly.
Right.
So, finding that poise is,
Yes, exactly. But it's also when you're not a name and you don't have that ability, you don't command a room yet. So you have to be loud and you have to take control. And have you ever done chocolate sundaes?
Oh, yeah.
So that's like a really rowdy, fun. Exactly. I love that room too. Yeah. But man, you gotta and just really command it right away. Like the walk up this up the stage, you gotta, you know, because I'm not a big name. They don't know who I am, so But Chappelle is like, he's like,
you'll be
I'm
patient
gonna
with
smoke,
them,
you know.
Right.
I'm gonna smoke, Lorne Michaels. I don't care what you think or say.
And people just wait there with a smile.
It's like,
laughing.
What's Lorne gonna do? It's like he's Dave Chappelle.
So let's go back, right? So we've been following each other for years.
Yes, a long time.
But we never got a chance to kind of figure out, you know, who we are and how we kind of got into this business. So
I've never talked before. This is our first time meeting in person.
This is how it happens, people.
So,
this is 2020.
So happy to meet you finally.
Likewise.
This is, and you're just as cool in real life.
I said I wasn't gonna cry today. You bringing out the Medea tears. Thank you, man. Thank you. And you're just as sweet as I imagined you'd be as well. So very good to meet you. So before comedy, before you were doing stand-up, what were you doing? Because I read a little bit up on you, and I know that this wasn't something that you thought you were going to do early on.
No, not at all. I was an executive in the champagne industry.
Wow.
And I did that for a long time in Miami.
Wow.
So I'm from Flint, Michigan.
Okay.
And but born and raised in Flint. And I went to school in New York City.
Uh-huh.
And I went to school and studied acting and did soap operas and commercials and off Broadway.
Cool.
And then my mom passed away, and I wanted to take a break from drama. Mm-hmm. So the only other thing I knew was wine, because I had been a bartender supporting myself through all my creative endeavors. So I got in the wine industry and just became so. I was just really, for the first time in my life, making money like that, like stable money.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
And I liked it, and I kind of got a little addicted to it. And I just crescendoed.
To the lifestyle?
It was a lifestyle,
sure,
right?
Sure.
And also, you know, it just felt good to have stability.
Yeah.
And
freedom in a lot of ways. Too.
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I just kind of let life slide, and I didn't realize how much time had gone by. And I woke up one day, and now I'm living in Miami, and I'm, you know, managing this big champagne house, and my life was really highfalutin. I mean, I had a really, you know, a lot of things.
Sure.
And things don't really matter, right?
Message.
Things don't really matter.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't make you happy. That's not, I can't. Right. I'm not going to go to sleep with a champagne bottle.
Right.
You know, I mean, maybe I did once
some
or
nights,
twice,
right.
maybe,
some nights,
but
yeah.
it just was like maybe 5 times.
Right.
And so I just, you know, I realized that I needed to find me again.
Sure.
This sounds so cliche.
No, you get to that, and I feel like it's so normal now that everybody's kind of trying to
yes, exactly.
have this sense of fulfillment.
Exactly,
and purpose,
like
you know?
The time is now.
Right.
So I sold all of my belongings and just grabbed my coffee maker and cat, and rented a 30-foot RV.
Well, hold up.
And
Wait
drove, and just with a coffee maker, my cat, and
RV.
drove the RV.
What's the cat's
from Benny? He's
Benny.
still around.
Shout out to Benny.
Yeah. He's a big bruiser.
Wow.
And drove from Miami to Los Angeles.
Wow. Did you know what you wanted to do in Los Angeles? Or did you come
I
here with
kind of knew
vision?
because I would dabble. Like I did a couple mics in New York City.
Okay.
I did a couple mics in
Just
Miami.
to kind of for fun,
I kind of knew. I kind of like I thought I could do it. You know how you have it, and I never did well, but I just thought, you know, if I really focus,
right.
I bet that there might be something there.
You believed in yourself.
It was a passion.
Sure.
Yes, and I'm very, very passionate about comedy. Just I've been addicted to, you know, stand-ups and SNL and sketches, and I love all things comedy.
Nice.
It's my true passion. So I kind of had an inkling, and then when I got here, I was like, you know what? I'm just really, really gonna go for it.
Yeah.
And I did, and I just
stuck with it.
Yeah, I stuck with it. Did like 3 shows a night if I could. You know, we'll start with open mics, of course.
Sure.
ComedyBureau.com, comics.
Yeah.
And just did as many mics as I could a night, and then started booking shows, and then made some friends with bookers, and
there it is.
And that's how it starts.
And I'm glad you said that too, because you started on open mics. You put in the work. I feel like a lot of comics now that I meet are, they're just waiting for things to kind of happen. Oh, hey, maybe I could just come up there with you. Hey, Charlie, how about I just, maybe I can just come down, and it's like, bro,
you gotta earn that.
Yeah, there's a process. Like, you gotta put in the time. You gotta learn the business, learn yourself, learn the confidence, and it really is a process. So I'm glad you at least kind of shared that part.
You have to pay your dues.
Yeah, people don't want to pay their dues.
No, they don't. And it's interesting. Some actors, and I'm not going to say any names, but we know some famous actors in this town that think they can just do comedy.
Oh my goodness,
and that's kind of annoying. Right. And I'm not going to say any names. But they're not good. Yeah. But
you can't tell them anything.
No,
though.
They
they'll
fill
do it
the
again
room because of who they are.
Exactly.
So, that's a little annoying.
Well, because the social media comics did that too for a while. They're making
influencers.
Influencers.
Oh, I can't stand influencers.
Yeah. Got the following and then get on stage.
Yeah, and I hate to have, I don't have ill will, or harbor anything against anyone, but the influencers in particular are kind of ruining like the real true artists on social media platforms. Mm-hmm. And I think if we could just differentiate them, just keep them in their influencer column. Yeah. And then the comics and the actors and the everything talent
gumbo. It's gumbo now.
Keep
We're all
them
in gumbo.
there. Yeah, exactly. But they kind of got intertwined. Yeah. And there's a little bit of gray area. Yeah. And they're not funny either. Yeah. By the way.
That's the thing though. But nothing shows you how bad you are or how good you are than just getting on that microphone.
That's right.
Because at that point, there is no edit. There is no let's run it back. There is just like, all right, go.
Yes.
And then at that moment, that's when you get an opportunity to show just how bad you are.
That's right.
That's the coolest thing about the microphone.
That's what I love, too.
You could be in a room with someone who has been on this show, they've done that, they've done this, and they got this resume and all this, and then they go up on stage, and then you maybe follow them, or either you go before them, and you make that impression, and you own that room at that moment, and you get the feedback, and then the show is like, all right, just me. Maybe just a little.
No. That's but interestingly, I've always thought that this was a very independent, creative endeavor, stand up. But COVID taught me that it's not. Mm-hmm. So I always thought, musicians have to rely on a band, and and actors have to rely on networks and producers, and comics don't have to rely on anything. But then COVID hit, and you know what? Yeah, we rely on rooms. Yeah, we rely on bookers, and we rely on audience, and because those Zoom shows weren't cutting it for me.
They weren't cracking. Yeah, they're not cracking. You don't get the getaway. You just go from one room to the next. It's like, all right.
Oh boy, that was. Up. I mean, I do them, just to stay writing and stuff, sharp, right? Yeah, but that was kind of an awakening for me. Yeah. During this whole thing is that gratitude that I have now for almost, for things that I just kind of took for granted before.
Yeah. Definitely. Have you been doing any shows as of lately? Things are just now kind of starting to get
They're
up
just
there.
now starting.
And especially in LA.
I had a couple shows in Orange County on the beach. Oh. And that was, like the people in Orange County, there's like nothing going on. There is no pandemic. Right. It's a hoax,
Right. Nothing's real.
So that was a little strange because they weren't wearing masks. Right. And this was like, we were still in the thick of it. I'm vaxxed now,
What month was this?
Not like really in the thick of
gotcha.
Like
right in the midst of it.
Yeah, exactly. Not too long ago, but we were in the thick of it not too long ago. Right. So but coming up, I never really was able to ride the wave of my special because it dropped the week of when the pandemic was declared in the world. Wow. So it was good and bad.
Sure.
I think I got a lot of, views.
Because people needed
because people
something
were
like,
home,
right.
But I wasn't able to ride the wave of it and go out and promote and, so. Right. So yeah, it's going to be interesting easing back into it. And thank you. This was a nice start for me. What a beautiful start. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, 100%, man. We're looking forward to seeing you to continue to to kill stages. Do you have anticipations of going more on film? Do you see yourself writing, or do you just like, hey, the stage is plenty?
Well, one really phenomenal and very exciting thing that happened with my special is it caught the eye of a big literary agent. Ooh. And they contacted me and said, why don't you morph your special into a half-hour multicam comedy? Wow. So I did. With the director of my special. We
scripted?
Yes, so nice. It was scripted, and we pitched to Fox and NBC and ABC, and so it was a really, really great experience. It didn't go. Nice. But this was just a couple months ago, but it was just to have that experience.
Because this idea wasn't even
exactly.
There.
Now I know what the process is.
Sure.
And I know how difficult it is to get in. Right. I have very, very, now I have a whole newfound respect for shows where their pilots get picked up. Right. But now I know that process, and I'm going to keep going with it. And now I know all these people, and that would have never happened without the special. Wow. So I'm really grateful.
Definitely. And the message in that is just do the work.
Exactly.
Put yourself out there, because you don't know what's going to develop from that. Right. A lot of times people talk themselves out of just putting it out there. And, even though what you're looking to get from that specific thing may not come, but it could definitely, cross over and stem over into a new relationship or another opportunity.
That's exactly right. Everything that I've built here in this town is meeting this person one night,
definitely.
And hosting. I hosted a lot of shows at Comedy Store, and that's how I would meet, a lot of headliners, and, and then you just find, exactly. So that's... everything I've done, and that's how you're here.
Right.
And
that's how it works.
Yeah.
There's real life networking and social media networking, and kind of knowing how to play what kind of makes the most sense.
And we were talking earlier that there is a balance, though. You do still have to focus on the talent portion. Oh, yeah. Because sometimes the hustle can overpower, and you lose sight of focusing on the craft.
And the craft and the quality of the craft.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that's a huge topic before we get out of here. We got to let you guys know about at least that, because so many people are working so hard. I'm on this show, I'm on that show. Book me here, holler at me here. You see me over here, what's up, fam? You see me, all right? She's like, all right, yeah. And it's like, whoa, how is your 20 minutes? How is that?
Yeah, right.
Really
how are your
breaking
punches?
That down.
Exactly.
All right.
Instead of showing off to your peers how many shows you have in a week or a month, or and I don't know if it's showing off to their peers, but just, showing that way
sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. I thought that's just a profound, a realization also, during this time. It kind of forced us to step outside our bubbles.
Yes.
And think, maybe re-strategize.
Exactly.
Is this productive?
Right.
Is this the right usage of my time? Because maybe it'd be more productive to go to the beach and think.
Exactly. That's why we in LA too.
Yeah, that's
why
right.
We pay so much, right?
Yeah. I hardly ever went to the beach. Right? I didn't have time. I wouldn't make the time. You have a family, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just auditions and stand up for 5 years, and the pandemic hit, and I was like, whoa. Okay,
I'll go to the beach now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it took, right? It's like, all right, I guess I'll go to Santa Monica today. Right? Dope. Well, hey, it's a pleasure.
The pleasure was all mine.
Girl, we gonna kick it. We're gonna see
slay.
each other. We're gonna shine. We're gonna slay. Girl, we're gonna slay.
Where are my gender fluids?
Where are the gender fluids, right? Please tell everybody where they can follow you and where they can keep up with you.
I'm Sarah J Halstead on all social media platforms. And please check out my special, RVs and Cats, on Amazon Prime.
Woo woo!
Yeah.
I've been your boy, Charlie Wilson TV. Oh man, it's been another hot episode of Do Tell with Laugh After Dark. Y'all go back and catch up, watch all of them. We spitting fire, man. Sarah J, we'll see y'all next time.
Thank you.
Did you like that? Come on, man. That was a good-ass episode, man. Look, I don't want you to miss out on the next one. Take a quick minute, hit the subscribe button down below. That way you can get a notification. And you don't want to miss out? You don't want to miss out? I'm looking out for you. I'll see you guys on the next episode.